Okay, things are stable right now. Hello everyone! Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we are continuing Super Mario World! Last time, we delivered the coup de grace to King Koopa himself, Bowser, freeing the Dino Land as well as Princess Peach from his control. This time, we are journeying back to Dinosaur Land in order to check out all of the secret levels and pathways that we did not take on our first run through this game. So yeah, I am definitely excited to get through the remainder of the levels here, because it's going to be a good time, especially to get to see all this stuff that we hadn't done previously. So, of course, in the last session, we cleared up everything we could do on Yoshi's Island, as well as on the Donut Plains. And we got started with a few of the levels here inside Vanilla Dome, before calling things at the end of the last session. This time, we're going to be continuing through Vanilla Dome with all of these secret pathways and levels that it contains. Starting with Vanilla Dome 1. Now, the main reason I wanted to do Vanilla Dome 1 after doing the Red Switch Palace was because the secret in this level is easier to get if you had managed to hit the Red Switch Palace. Otherwise, getting through this area may be a bit tricky. Let's hit this guy over, and see if we can slide in there. Ow, hey. I really do like these yellow blocks, so you can just make them temporarily pass-throughable. It's a nice little thing. See if we can get that guy to hit that. And want to take these blocks up here. That's why I recommended taking the Red Switch Palace. Otherwise, you have to do some tricks with Yoshi or the Cape Feather to get this secret. And with that, we unlock the pathway to another area with some secrets in it. Vanilla Secret. I really do like this level because it's a lot more vertical than the cave levels we had seen previously, which gives you plenty of room in order to explore and do stuff here. Definitely want to try to get through this level with the Cape Feather, because that will make getting the secret in this area much easier. Of course, there are two pathways in this level we can take, and you can actually get to the secret exit here from a variety of different ways, which I find is really good with the replayability of these levels. Just want to fly up here once we get enough of a boost. That's not quite what we needed. I got that, like, first try on my previous session. Yeah, so this is actually my second attempt at this recording today, because things were obviously not as stable as I would have liked them to be. Hopefully, things are improved upon here. This is definitely getting a bit tricky than I would have liked. Let's try doing this. There we go. So by flying over there, we can enter this pipe, giving us a secret exit out of this level. Really? I missed the bonus tape? Oh well. So that's the secret exit from the Vanilla Secret, giving us another pathway to the Star Road. I will eventually be tackling the Star Road, but that's going to be a little bit later. I want to take care of all the main levels before I go through the Star Road. Because definitely some interesting things to talk about with Star Road. Even though some things in Star Road will make some things in the regular levels a bit easier, this is how I just want to play this run of the game. Because I typically use the Star Road in my main playthroughs in order to give me a added bonus when going through the main game. But we are in post-game cleanup here, so we don't need to worry about any of that. So yeah, the main level here in Vanilla Secret 1 is pretty good, all things considered. I do like this level quite a bit. And not really too much to go over. It's just a very vertical cave area with a few hazards, but nothing we haven't seen up to this point. Let's go down here and grab this dragon coin. And while we're just going through the remainder of this course, since we've been here before, there's some stuff I kind of wanted to go over before we get started on some of the other things in this session. So, of course, I have been working very hard these days with a lot of stuff in my job and making sure that we have, making sure that everyone is having a good time throughout this pandemic, you know? Alright, got all the dragon coins. And yeah, it's been pretty busy at work lately, but I'm hoping that things are going to be a bit more lax going forward. Especially because I actually have 2 days off this week, which I'm very happy about. Wow, really, dude? Screw you. Oh, he's taking my feathers away from me? So yeah, work has been pretty okay so far. Just got out of a 5-day work period, but the next week should be a bit better, because our days off are much more spread across the week, so I'm hoping that we'll actually have a good time of things going forward. But enough about all that work stuff, because we got another secret level up here on the top of this mountain. I'm just gonna call this area Vanilla Mountain, just because it's very fitting. So this level has a lot of Koopa Troopas here, and this area can be a little dangerous. There's a lot of Koopas here to mess with, and let's see if I can get one of these guys and hit their shell into that block. Well, I just lost Yoshi. It's okay, we can get him back. Yeah, I want to hit that green block, because the green blocks are guaranteed to have items in them. They are some of the very best blocks when it comes to getting items. Okay, if I could just get this guy in here. There we go. Yep, there's a cape feather. So, mainly this level should go pretty smoothly, especially because we have Cape Mario and Yoshi with us. It's really not the worst level out here, just a little hectic with how many enemies appear here. Okay, I guess we'll take the fire. It's not as useful as the cape feather. I kind of said this before in my failed recording of this session, but the cape feather is generally a bit better than the fire flower, because the main utility you get from the fire flower just tends to be just the ability to take out enemies in front of you, and doesn't really have too much utility outside of that. But anyway, we had some new enemies here. We got the return of these bombs that we saw all the way back in the Force of Illusion by Yoshi. Ugh. So yeah, we got those guys again. This is actually the earliest point in the game you can run into bombs. But we also got this formation is a little awkward here. So I want to grab this gray block, the P switch I mean, because doing that will turn the enemies into silver coins, which if you collect them all, you get a very nice little... you get a good chain of 1-ups there. It's actually using that gray P-switch is one of the best ways you can farm 1-ups in this game. Because that area with all the Koopa Troopas back at the very start, you can use that to just turn all those guys into silver coins and then get a ton of 1-ups that way. It's so good. But yeah, that is another level in the Vanilla Secret taken care of. That level also introduced a new enemy that we hadn't seen up to that point, which is Lakitu. They are interesting enemies in that they will throw spiny eggs to try and damage you. And if the spiny eggs touch the ground, they will hatch into spinies. Spinies, of course, acting very similar to Buzzy Beetles, except they have spikes on them. Alright, so now we're moving on to Vanilla Secret 3. Another water area. Haven't seen too many of these. Oh, this area is quite unique for a few reasons. Namely, we got an interesting creature here, not necessarily an enemy. These are dolphins! Everyone loves dolphins, and these guys are mainly here just to serve as platforms to help you across the level. Yeah, it's very fun. I think this is the only level to actually have the dolphins in them, but they are just so flipping cute. I just love their adorable little faces and the ow. And I don't like you, Porcupuffer. You've always been a pain in my backside here. Wow. Can actually kill that guy with a cape. That is pretty good. But yeah, they're just so cute with their pudgy little faces and their goggles. They're just so adorable. But an interesting fact about the dolphins that are kind of infamous about this game. In the original Japanese release of Super Mario World, if you brought Yoshi in the level with the dolphins, Yoshi can actually eat them. This is only in the original Japanese release of the game, so it's not possible in this release. But yeah, it's just an interesting little thing. And it just makes me think of that one episode of South Park about the Japanese just killing dolphins en masse, and just all the residents of South Park just don't understand why. It's just, man, that episode is just something. Yeah, but it's an entertaining enough little level. Only real hazard there was the Porcupuffer, but besides that, pretty basic. So, on the topic of the dolphins, I don't know if they appear in any other games besides this one. There might be another one where they do. But anyway, it's time to go to the earliest fortress that you can actually hit in the game, the Vanilla Fortress. Well, let me tell you, this fortress is anything but vanilla. So similar to the fortress we saw back in the Chocolate Island, this area is basically like a castle, except it has a few so they're typically a bit harder than the main castles you go through. So here we got an underwater castle that we have to go through. And there's quite a lot of hazards we can find here. So we have these skeletal fish enemies. I talked about them before when we were in Bowser's Castle, but they are fish bones. They typically do nothing but try to swim into you. They tend to be a lot more aggressive in other Mario games, especially in Super Mario Maker. And even the dry bones here are even throwing their bones, which is definitely a hazard in this area. We can still stomp on that guy when we're underwater, that's good. So remember this particular area being kind of tricky. So I think it might be a bit of a maze for this area. I don't know, I don't often play this fortress, so... Oh, there's the exit already. Never mind. I don't really need that mushroom, so let's just get over here and fight the boss of the fortress. Just like in Chocolate Island Fortress, we have to fight Reznor. Let's bop that guy. Managed to take that one out very quickly. But yeah, every fortress in the game has Reznor at the end. Pretty easy to take out, just hit them under their platform and dodge the fireballs. And by beating that fortress, we are able to get over here to a new area, Butter Bridge. This is basically part of the Cheese Bridge Cookie Mountain area. So if you're able to take the secret exit, you're able to skip Lemmy's Castle entirely and progress with the game just normally, which is pretty interesting. With that, let us go into Butter Bridge 1. Its name implies there are going to be multiple Butter Bridges here, and we have an auto-scroll level. So this level, you want to be careful. There are these small mushroom platforms that when you stand on, they will either... it will cause them to lower, while another platform will also rise. So this level is all about balance, and being able to be on the right platform at the right time in order to traverse the level. It can be a little tricky here, but if you have the Cape Feather, you should have no problem here, because the feather really helps to slow your descent, make it easier for you to traverse the level. So having the red switch palace also definitely helps getting through here. Typically, all the switch palaces will help you throughout the levels, especially in the secret levels. Just want to avoid hitting that. Don't know if we're gonna get this dragon coin here. Actually, we can. Good. There's only one more in this level. Shouldn't be too far off. So now, here we got a more vertical section. This, of course, reminds me of a bunch of other levels from Super Mario Bros. 3. Which, now that we're on the topic of that, I kind of want to talk about the rivalry that this game's fans tend to have with the Mario 3 fans. Because there's often been disputes about which of those two games is better, whether it's Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World. Some would cite because this game being so much graphically superior and mechanically sound compared to Super Mario Bros. 3, some people would say this is the superior game. While others feel like Super Mario Bros. 3 just, in general, has better level structure, better power-ups, a better world progression. And I can definitely agree on a lot of the points in Super Mario Bros. 3's favor. Hell, the frickin' music in Super Mario Bros. 3 is the stuff of legend. Such an amazing soundtrack that can't put this game's soundtrack to shame in places. Just I feel that that game is a lot more unique sounding music, while this game tends to reuse the same melody over and over across its different songs. So yeah, there's definitely a bit of contention between Super Mario Bros. 3 and World. Ultimately, I still really like both games. I can see the argument that Mario Bros. 3 is better than World. But overall, this is still just my favorite Mario game, if not my favorite game of all time. Just love the aesthetics. The gameplay is just so flippin' smooth and good. It just does so much good stuff, even if it is a bit of a simpler game compared to 3. It just does so much good. This level here, we got the return of the Super Koopas. This could be a tricky level with them just constantly flying at you. And, oh, we're missing that drag coin. And we got another interesting hazard here. We have Koopa Troopas that are kicking their shells at us. So a little known fact is that the blue Koopas, specifically the ones with blue shoes, if you shoot a Koopa shell at those guys, and they are facing the shell, they'll actually catch it with their foot and then kick it back at you. Which is definitely a unique way of going about that. It's definitely an interesting way of making these guys more of a threat compared to some of the older versions of the Koopas, where they pretty much just have to take the shell coming at them. But yeah, they're a lot more aggressive and definitely formidable in this one. We're gonna have to forget that dragon coin. Just race through here, please. Ow. Alright, can we still get that feather? Nope. Ow! Yeah, this level is just kind of a bit of annoying with how many Koopas they throw at you. I could just use the Cape Feather to completely bypass this level. Actually, I probably should, since I've been dying so much here. Yep, let's go flying. Oh, would you look at that? There's actually a hidden pathway up here. It's nice. I missed that, but I got the dragon coin at last. I was hoping I could grab another feather from that guy. Please leave me alone, good sir. Alright, we got that coin. And what else is over here? I don't know if there's a Yoshi we could use here. That blue pipe will definitely have something down it, maybe. It's got a lot of Koopas here with red capes. Okay, one of these pipes I know has a something in it. Also, man, there's just so many Koopas here. But yep, we got a hidden area here. Both a platform and a rope we can go across. So you have just a nice area to grab some bonus coins. There's another dragon coin here, so that's good. And want to go up this pipe here. It's a bit farther into the level now. And yeah, the Koopas are definitely not giving up here. So many... Okay, we're probably not going to get that one, unless we can, like, jump off another Koopa head. Yeah, I'm just going to pass on that one. It's not worth it. Let's grab all those bonus points at the end there. And that should be the end of Butter Bridge. And that, of course, gives you a shortcut to Castle 4, Ludwig's Castle. So that is all very good. But there's still a level here that we can get a secret from, which is Cheese Bridge. I kind of hinted about this back the first time I came to this level, but the secret exit in this level is very infamous in the community. Based especially on the method which you get to this secret exit. So pretty much the most optimal way to get through the level and get the secret involves sacrificing Yoshi in order to get past the main gate. And we'll definitely go more into that as we just get through this level. I actually forget if we can even find Yoshi in this level, given how things are. There are the wings there, which would be good if we have Yoshi, which we don't. Is this blue pipe good for anything? Gives us this area, which will also serve as a shortcut through the level. So one of the other methods you can get this secret exit is if that you are really good with the timing on the cape feather. And just being able to fly through here and get to the secret exit that way. So I don't think we're going to have the momentum to be able to do that, sadly. Yep, so we're going to have to go grab Yoshi and do this. So otherwise, I really don't see us being able to get the secret exit here. Luckily, I know an area where we can grab Yoshi, so let's go do that. So thankfully, the last time we came through this area, we unlocked this area, which has easily the best rewards in it out of any level we have come across so far. Secret area is just fantastic, giving you access to all the main power-ups and a free Yoshi whenever you want. So it's very good if you are looking to clear the levels, and you don't have to go hunting for certain power-ups in different levels. Just a very quick and easy way to get all that done. Alright, so let's get through this level again, only this time we have Yoshi. So if we are very careful here, we can actually jump off of the saw blades with Yoshi and just be able to completely bypass that section. Alright, now this part is going to be tricky. So want to fly here, and we should be able to just completely cut across this level same as before. Wait. Alright, so it's not there, I believe. Want to go here, fly, and then we should be able to just completely bypass the saws and get over here. Alright, so just want to refresh myself on this. Okay. Very sorry about this, Yoshi. You gotta go under, jump off, completely abandoning Yoshi in the process. But hey, we get a free up moon there. So, he didn't die in vain. He died so we can get free extra Marios. And the secret exit. Yeah, that is a very infamous way to complete the level. Like, so many people just talk about how Yoshi gets completely sacked in these levels. But yeah, just kind of the way things are. But hey, it's not the worst abuse that Yoshi has been put through. At least he hasn't had to babysit a toddler throughout several different agonizing worlds. Twice. But with that, we are all done with things in this area, except for one secret area we got from clearing that special exit, Soda Lake. It's definitely one of the more unique water levels compared to what we have seen before. So we got a new enemy here hinted at by the end of the game, Torpedo Ted. These are pretty much aquatic versions of bullet bills. They come out of the Torpedo Ted launchers, and they got just the cutest little faces. I do like the design of these guys, especially how they're deployed with the little Mickey Mouse hands. It's all very cute. But yeah, this is the main hazard of this area, and a little tricky to deal with. Just want to be very careful through here. We got a lot of enemies to deal with, and power-ups in this level are very sparse. So don't think Torpedo Teds really show up much in other games. I think they're in some of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but for the most part, this is the level where they are most well-known at. And this is the only level in the game where Torpedo Teds actually show up. Alright, that's all the dragon coins. So we should be just about done here. Get past this next session. Oh, no. I got completely sandwiched in there. That's just the beauty of doing these levels. And unfortunately, no checkpoints, so we have to do the whole level if we die. Yeah, this is definitely a tricky one. At the very least, we get to hear this absolutely beautiful underwater theme, which I really do like. It's just so peaceful. I really love the music in water levels, Mario series especially. Ow, dang it, Ted. And there's always a good one I really like to listen to. And the background is very pretty. Like, I've already said it plenty of times, but I really do like the art style of this game. Just so bright and colorful. So while we're going through this level again, I thought I could talk about some of the other stuff I've been doing lately. I've had pretty good progress on some drawings I've been doing lately. And it's been especially good, especially with some of the communities I'm in. So I'm very thankful for the amount of work I was able to get done. And I'm very excited for some of the plans that we're going to be having in some of our Discord servers relating to some games that we'll be playing together, which I'm very excited for. Probably not going to do anything I'm probably not going to be able to do anything this week, but sometime fairly soon, especially next week, I'm hoping to get in on some other action. I've also been really wanting to do some more Gartic Phone lately, especially with one of the more recent videos done by Rubber Ross. He does so many great Gartic Phone videos, and his last one especially was very good. And I definitely want to do something like that at some point. Among other things, because I've just been really wanting to do certain other forms of content, namely reactions, especially with one of the channels I follow that is especially good with stuff. And I would really like to go into discussions about her content, but I'm going to save that for a later date. So I'm probably not going to stream anything like that, but I am thinking of uploading it to YouTube at some point, so yep, that'll be something I'm looking forward to. But among other things, what I'm really excited to talk about is this week I have been playing through a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yep, I picked up the game again, and we are getting a lot of good progress in. So I actually, my last main run of the game had halted at about the point right before the end of Chapter 6 in the game, which, oh boy, what a point in the game to just completely abandon at some point. But after that, we were able to get through the... So when I came back into the game, I was able to get through the end of that chapter, and I was able to get through the the rest of the next chapter, Chapter 7, just so freaking quickly in only a few days. And currently on Chapter 8 of the game right now, very close to getting through to Chapter 9. But of course, this point of the game is very fickle in that it gives me just a point of the game where I'm able to do a ton of side quests that are of course very important at developing a lot of the characters I've been with and being able to develop my blades. Also doesn't help that I've also obtained a few new blades that I've been really excited about getting to use. Especially today, because I got one of the rare blades, which I'm very excited for. Anyway, for clearing the Soda Lake, we get another pathway to Star Road. So that is definitely very helpful. So now that we're all done with this area, the Cookie Mountain area, as I like to call it, or the bridge area, call it whatever you like. So we are hopping into Forest of Illusion. Starting off with Forest of Illusion 1. You can probably guess what the secret exit in this level unlocks if you've been paying attention to things in this area. But yeah, it's going to be pretty basic, but still kind of worth it given that this area is actually one of the more open worlds of the game, giving you a lot of freedom to do a lot of different stuff, depending on how you go about the various challenges here. Alright, so we should have a pretty good time with this. Let's time that one to grab that one up. Very good. And very sorry, Yoshi, but we're not going to be seeing much action with you for the remainder of this level, sadly. So what I'm going to do is get through here. And over this way. I guess if you time, like, your hover, you could get over there, like, very easily without needing to do this one thing. Yoshi, could you come back here, please? Thank you. Eat the caterpillar. Eat the Koopa. And then I'm going to abandon you because we don't need you for this next part. In that block is a P-balloon, which we can use to ride over here in order to get to this little area that we saw earlier. We hit that block and we expose the key for the keyhole. Just want to take that and go in the secret pathway. So if you're looking to get the max score on the world map, you have to get the secret exit there. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do, you're not able to 100% the game. But anyway, doing that unlocks the pathway to the Forest Ghost House. So that's a way you could access that level without having to circle around to the other areas. With that said, we're going into Forest of Illusion 2. It's an area I talked about quite a bit last time because it's just such an interesting area. It's a very big level with a lot of hazards, especially the urchins, which are always just a pain to deal with. I do like their design, though. I can knock you down to grab that coin. Alright. But yeah, my time in Xenoblade has been pretty good so far. Definitely getting a lot of progress in with the second game, and I'm very excited that I am very close to the end game of it. Especially because I just really grown attached to these characters and this world. Yeah, this feather. Don't think I'm going to be able to grab it. No. Just barely became inaccessible. And yeah, a lot of the things I've been doing in the game too, it's been just a very thrilling experience. Like, the portion of the game I got to is a point in the game where a lot of character building moments happen that I'm really excited to get to see. Oh, got dead end here, more red vanfish, we gotta go. Especially because we don't have much time left in this level. And yeah, there was a lot of character building moments in the section of the game that I'm at. That has been really cool, and just in general, just been really enjoying a lot of the things we had to do in the story. Especially one moment in particular where you team up with a character who, given the direction the plot was going in, didn't seem like the kind of person who would be temporarily joining your team at that moment. But I really appreciate it. It's a very good character moment for both the good guys and for that particular not-so-good guy. But, you know, it's what I really like about the game. It's very nuanced, and the characters are very complex. I'm really annoyed by this Rip Van Fish here, and especially annoyed by that. But yeah, we have a secret pathway over here. That wall there is not actually a wall. And by doing that key, we are able to unlock the Blue Switch Palace. At long last, the second to last of the palaces. Alright, first of all, I want to grab as many of these coins here, so we don't have to worry about these guys dropping on our heads. Alright, hit that to drop them down, and then we hit the gray P-switch, so that we can collect the silver coins. Actually got a few 1-ups there. Very good. Makes up for the 1-ups to be lost in a few of the other levels. And by heading in here, we can get to the blue switch at long last. Good work, Mario. The power of the switch you have pushed will turn blue dotted line blocks into blue exclamation mark blocks. Your progress will also be saved. Very glad that we finally hit this one. It's been bugging me so long that we hadn't gotten any of the Switch Palaces during my first run of this game, but it's done. We don't have to worry about them anymore. But what we do have to worry about is getting the remainder of the secret exits in the Forest Ghosts. The Forest of Illusion, So we managed to get all the exits in Forest of Illusion free, so we don't need to go back there. So I want to head into the ghost house here. And this is going to be interesting. I need to think about what we're going to do here, because the secret exit is something that I'm not 100% on what we have to do. It's just been so long since we got this exit as well, so just wanna think about this. There are a few potential things we have to do. Alright, let's head into this door here. This gives us this area with all of the booze coming down on us. Alright, I think I can imagine one thing we could try. But based on what vague memories I have of this area... Ow, come on. Let's go over here. Alright, if we're very careful with this, we can hop over here. No. It'd be a lot easier to do if we were small Mario, but I really don't want to be small at this point. But we can slide under here. Hit that to get a 1-up, which we're probably not going to be able to get because it's going to despawn. Yeah, could you guys just leave me alone right now? These boos get so annoying at times. Alright, so we need to go through a specific exit here. Let's try going through this door. Nope, that drops us off here. Okay. At the very least, we can grab that super mushroom again. Alright, let's head in here and grab our fire flower and get through here. Still thinking about what we're gonna have to do to clear this exit. Ow, come on. These freaking ghosts. Yeah, I'm just not familiar with this level too much, because I usually... I have to get this in order to access some of the other content. Alright, so we do that, we go up here, and which should the exit want to go to? I think the one at the end takes us back to the one place, so let's go in here. And by hitting that exit, I believe that should take us hypothetically, to the next area? Yes, that is the exit we needed. In fact, I think that might be the main exit for this area, considering just a few things. But whatever. Now that we've done that, we can go to Forest of Illusion 4. And we got a fishing Lakitu here. If you grab the thing that he was dangling from there in order to lure you in, he'll start throwing the spiny eggs. Will definitely make things a bit trickier here. This guy is a big hazard in this area that we want to take out. But what's especially notable about Lakitus, just want to say, based on them, these guys were so annoying when playing through the original Super Mario Brothers. Like, I played through the original Mario Brothers game via Super Mario All-Stars, as well as Super Mario Brothers Deluxe on the Game Boy Color. And no matter what game you're playing, Lakitus are just so annoying to have to deal with. What is nice is you can knock them out of their clouds with a well-timed shell. Fortunately, these can be very tricky to get on unless you're at a high enough elevation. You can actually ride in the cloud to get to some areas that you couldn't get to before, which is very nice. It's definitely a nice way to be able to go through the levels without having to deal with some of the BS that you can usually find in them. Yeah, as I said before, Lakitus were always a pain in the original Mario Brothers. And here they're not too bad. They're only in a few levels, and they really don't take up too much of your time to deal with. They just will often throw their spiny eggs. I believe what we have to do for this guy here, we don't have to worry about the secret exit just yet. But I will want to make a note of something in the near future. So yeah, see that pipe there? That'll be important for later. For now, I want to take this P-switch over here. And I'm thinking we don't need to really use this for anything. Let's go over these parts, grab that dragon coin, and get herself a free fire flower by bringing the P-switch over here. Very nice. So that's the main exit from that level. And by clearing that, it just makes a pathway back to Forest of Illusion 2. So you're pretty much going in a big circle in this area, unless you hit the secret exits in order to progress onward. It's another thing I like about the Forest of Illusion. This area, of course, being based on the very well-known Lost Woods in the Legend of Zelda series. Alright, that guy's back to throwing his eggs. And, yeah, let's grab the star here, because this will be very beneficial. Just use that to take care of as many enemies as we can. And see if we can get some extra lives while we're at it. Yep, we got an extra life there. I want to grab that, because that shortcut will be important. So what we need to do now is get up to this pipe. It is just high enough where it's like really difficult to try to get it up the normal way. If we can lure this Koopa over here, we might be able to bounce off him. I know one of the main ways I try to get into that pipe is to try to kill Lakitu and use its cloud to ride up onto the pipe. But you can just bounce off a Koopa to get up there. And with that done, we got a normal level in the Forest of Illusion that doesn't have any secret exits. That's right, Forest Secret Area. This area is fairly unique compared to some of the other areas we've been to before. We got these flying platforms, and want to ride them across the level and gather up as many coins as we can. This is pretty much a breather level where you don't have to worry too much about the hazards. It's all about just going for the level and having a good time. Sadly, we're not going to get that cape feather. Let's take out that guy. What's in this block? Just a fire flower. We have plenty of those. But yeah, this is a pretty basic level, all things considered. I just like the look of the trees just whooshing past us as we're going for the level. It just gives this area a very distinct feel, like you are going incredibly fast through here. Now, really didn't need to get hit there, but it's okay! I died in the Breather level. That's something. It's okay, this level isn't too bad. But yeah, just the overall feel of this level is really good. You just really get that feeling that you're going really fast through here, the way the background is just whooshing past. It's all good. Alright, let's grab this mushroom. There we go. So we're back to being big. But yeah, overall things have been going pretty well for me so far. And really excited for some things coming up, because if you don't know, why did I do that? That is dumb. So what I was saying there before, rudely interrupted by the concept of death, is that I'm really excited for the movie that is coming up this Friday. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is coming out in theaters. I've been really excited for this one ever since I saw the first Sonic movie, so yeah, I am excited for a good time this Friday. I have this Friday off, so I'll hopefully be having a good time at the theater. I know things have been a little contentious about theaters ever since things with COVID, but here in Ontario, our COVID restrictions are being lowered a little bit, and mask mandates are less extreme as they used to be, so we are, at the most part, transitioning back into the way things were, and quite happy with that for a few reasons, even though I feel like it may be a little too soon to celebrate just yet. But in the meantime, it's just good that we have this opportunity to be able to just have fun and forget about this whole all this business with COVID and stuff. Whatever, we clear that level, getting us another pathway forward. So we got ourselves a secret path in the Forest of Illusion that takes us over to this side. Yeah, but it's not an area that gives us a shortcut out of the forest, but it gives us the Forest Fortress. Try saying that 5 times fast. It's got another fortress area. So this one is recycling elements from Iggy's castle, where we have the pillars coming down on us. We also have the grinders here. Just definitely want to watch out for these guys, because they can be a pain to deal with. Alright, it's good that we hit the... Yeah, it is especially good that we hit the Switch Palaces, because they'll make going through this fortress so much easier. It's another thing that makes me grateful for me no longer having to be restricted by my self-imposed challenges. We don't have to worry about that restriction anymore. There's nothing else here, so we'll go for this door. And, whew, got another section with some potaboos and a lot of grinders. This section could be a little tricky here. Let's go up there. Let's grab our mushroom, giving us a nice power-up. Let's wait for the potaboos to shoot up and jump across. Yeah, it seems like grinders are the main hazard in this area. Which, perfectly fine by. They're very intimidating in terms of obstacles. It's these giant saw blades. And, yeah, always very intimidating. Makes me think about that one scene from E.T. where the kid Elliot cuts his hand on a razor blade and just, ugh. Yeah, scenes like that always make me cringe. I don't like bodily injuries like that. But anyway, going for that door gets us another battle against Reznor. This is gonna go pretty similar to the battles with Reznor we had previously. This time, we have a cape with us. And like that, the battle's over. In your face, Reznor! And by clearing that fortress, we get another path to the Star Road. So now that we have beaten that level, we now have access to every Star Road entrance. So the Star Roads are in the... each Star Road entrance can be found in the Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome, in the sea there past Soda Lake, past the Forest of Illusions Fortress, and in the Valley of Bowser. From all those entrances, you're able to get shortcuts all throughout the map, so you can just easily blaze through this game if you know the right way to go through each of the different areas. And that way is also interesting in that going for those levels can net you some exclusive rewards that you wouldn't be able to find otherwise. But now that we are past everything we can do in the Forest of Illusion, let's go back into another area that has been just very cluttered with content, Chocolate Island. And believe it or not, we have actually hit every secret exit in this area. So there's nothing more we can show here. The chocolate secret, of course, being the most notable secret in this area because it gets you a shortcut over to Wendy's Castle. And with that, our next secrets that we need to worry about are here in the Valley of Bowser. Kind of think of it. Yeah, there are only 2 more secret exits we need to find in the main worlds of the game before we move on to Star Road and everything those unlock. So we could be seeing the end of a Super Mario World very soon. Okay, so for these secret exits, let's start on Valley of Bowser 2. This level's going to take us a little while to get through, which is fine by me. We still have plenty of time in this session. So, of course, I've only been doing hour-long sessions here in Mario World, just because I feel like it's a good amount of time to be able to get through the game in a good way. And if we're careful here, we should be able to get through this level just fine. But yeah, definitely feeling a little forlorn now that we are very close to the end here. But, hey, it's always how I feel whenever I'm playing one of my favorite games of all time, you know? Alright, so now that we're past here, what I want to do is fly up here. So if you can hear there, we hit a block. By jumping just right, pretty sure we're able to do this. By jumping just right, we're able to get on that block, I think. Okay, it might not be this part of the level. I may be confusing that with something else. Okay. So we have to go through the rest of this level, I guess. I'm still thinking about what we have to do here, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to go through this crushing maze section of the level in order to get to the secret exit. So that is a little unfortunate that we have to go through all this again, because this area is very tense. It always makes me very nervous going through here. And yeah, what else can we talk about while we're going through this very slow crawl of an area? I don't know. I guess there's been some interesting news in the Pokemon community lately. specifically referring to the anime because of some returning characters that haven't been in the show for quite a while, not since X and Y. And I kind of want to bring this up because it's something I felt with Pokemon Journeys for a long time. So when the concept of Pokemon Journeys first was announced, how this series was going to be more of an anthology where it's about Ash and his new partner going through... instead of going through one whole region, they're actually traveling to all the previous regions we have seen all throughout the show and getting to interact with all the classic characters again. And I was so hyped when I heard this announcement, because getting to explore all of these familiar areas and concepts again, especially since Ash had already proved himself champion of the Alola region, I was really down for this concept. Then the first few episodes came out and I'm like, wait, this isn't the show they promised us. And yeah, I was just kind of feeling bummed out about that and didn't feel like any real motivation to tune into this new show, despite how interesting the concept is. And just overall, I've warmed up a lot to a lot of its concepts. Like, I think Go and Chloe are fine enough partners for Ash. Not as much compared to some of the older characters, though, but they're still good. Alright, so this is what I was thinking. We have to fly up here, and then be very careful not to drop down that pit. In this area, you grab the key and put in the keyhole. And that unlocks a secret pathway to Valley Fortress, the last of the 4 fortresses in the game. Boy, this one is definitely tricky to do. So we still got plenty of time, so let's see if we can clear this fortress before the end. It's kind of a shame we're not going to be able to clear all the secret exits before the end, just because of how I want to time things here. Oh, we got the return of the crushing pillars from Wendy's castle. Which I want to say now, based on the things that went down with that session, something I forgot to mention is that if you're at all familiar with one of my friends, Master Starman, who also does streams, and I've actually joined him on some streams of Mario Party Superstars, and in those sessions, there's a specific mini-game in that game that involves the crushing pillars. And whenever that game comes up, I would always bring up, like, I've played through Super Mario World. I have more than enough experience of dodging these things. And yeah, that's one of the mini-games in that game that I always seem to be able to clear no problem. So, I just find that very funny how I just constantly say these things relating to my experiences in Super Mario World, and how it actually has some truth to it. Yeah, I always do enjoy those Mario Party streams, even though the last stream we did kind of had a certain incident in it that I'm not particularly proud of. Let's just say it involved me lashing out in a way that I really shouldn't. I should have been acting a lot better in that instance, but it's okay, things are better now, and I'm hoping we'll be able to play some Mario Party again sometime. Just have fun like always. But with that said, we have cleared the last of the fortresses, which means we no longer have to see Reznor again. So sorry that we had to say goodbye to such a short-lived enemy. But by doing that, by clearing that fortress, we unlock Backdoor. So what exactly does that mean exactly? Well, if we go into Backdoor, we can see that by taking this pathway, it gives us a shortcut past the rooms in Bowser's Castle where you have to go through at least 2 rooms in order to get to this section with the Mecha Koopas and the Ninjas. So you're able to skip most of this frickin' level and go fight the final boss. If you're able to take the alternate pathway and go through that hard fortress level. It's pretty cool, all things considered. But with that said, we have reached the end of this session. So very sadly, we're not going to be able to beat Bowser here, even though I would very much like to hit him in his smug face once more. But yeah, sorry Bowser, but canonically, you win this battle. With that said, we are all done with this session, and almost done with all the secret exits in the main areas of the game. So next time we return to Super Mario World, we'll be finishing up the last of these secret exits, and then we'll finally tackle the Star Road and get to show off everything that can be found here and beyond. Until next time, have a good night and take care.